Let me introduce myself. My name is Natalia Khutorova, and today I am the moderator of our very interesting and actual section. And first of all, I want to say several words. From the organizing committee of this conference, Student Guider 22, they are very grateful to all the participants for moderations, experts, students, for their tremendous work they have done preparing for this event. Today we should say that active digitalization of the life of modern society observed over the past maybe 30 years has led to real changes in the finance and economy and our life at all. The financial sector is at the heart of a digital transformation, and that has spurred by Fintech, which is now shaping a new segment of modern financial market. That's why today we have several interesting presentations for our participants, and we have our agenda. Today we are going to discuss several very interesting questions. For example, risks and prospects of using digital financial assets, the practice of using digital currencies, transformation of the global financial system under the influence of the DeFi, the role of digital currencies in the context of anti-Russian sanctions, transforming the role of financial intermediaries and the area of Fintech, and development of DeFi and their relationship with the shadow economy. And first of all, let me see. I want to introduce our expert, but I can't see him yet. But I believe. That's me again. I'm very sorry. That was some kind of problems with the connections. I hope that you heard me. You heard me, and several words more about our agenda. We have several presentations, and I want to ask our students and our participants to have only 7 minutes for their report, for their presentation, not longer, because we are short in time. And if we have several questions, if we have any question, we will give the time. And after the last presentation, we will have general discussion about our session. Okay, I wish you just a minute. I will see. First of all, I want to wish you good luck, and I hope that this 1 hour and a half will be very useful for all of us. We have several presentations from the students of different universities, and we are very great just to present that we have the students from the different level of education. We have master students, we have the students of the first level of education, third-year students, and so on. And we will start with the presentations, with the report of not newcomers. There are several of us. There is Knyazhev Artem and Nasipov Musa. They know for sure how to deal with students Gaidar, because that is not their first time. And we are very glad to greet them. So, Knyazhev Artem. Artem, where are you?
Hello. Hello. Okay. I'm here.
Okay, very nice to see you. Okay, now you have the time, and we are listening for your report. For your presentation.
1 minute. Do you see my presentation? Yes, we see.
We do.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Artem, and today I would like to tell you about a robo-advisor which used in modern banks such as challenger banks. The first, I would like to tell you about the main reasons why the stock market was not popular until 2020. And a lot of people think that it is necessary to have a lot of capital, a lot of free money, which you can use in a stock market. Because if you have really a small capital, small money, you cannot have a good result in your in the stock market. And you need to have a trading terminal. If we talk about years until 2020, we need to understand so that if you don't have programs, professional programs and terminals, for example, Quick, you cannot do some stock, some shares. You cannot buy and sell some shares, bonds, and derivatives. And if you want to install this program, you need to understand how work this program. And you need to understand, and you need to spend a lot of time on this program for your understanding. Time for education. If you want to understand how work some instruments such as shares, bonds, derivatives, you need to read. It's necessary to read some professional literature and books. And I think that you need to have high education, and due to this, you can understand how need to work with different professional financial instruments in stock market.
Artem, I'm very sorry for interruption. I can't see. Can we just change the slides of your presentation, because I see only the first one.
First slide. Okay, 1 minute. Maybe I have some problems with my computer. If I see my slide in this, you see this, yes?
Now it's very nice.
Okay. Next slide. And now we can see in this slide all clients in different brokerage and bank companies, Tinkoff, Sberbank, VTB, BKS, and etc. And if we talk about, for example, Tinkoff, we can see for about 4 million people which use these services, but about 200,000 people use their brokerage accounts for investments in different kinds of financial instruments. And brokerage companies and bank companies need to understand what need to do that these people started invest their own money in different financial instruments. And the next, I would like to tell you about how challenger banks made investing in the stock market easier. And the first, this is mobile applications. Now most people have smartphones. And due to this, they can download some programs in your smartphones, in their smartphones. And these smartphones is extremely easier than Quick, for example, because you have only two buttons, sell and buy. And these applications these applications are really easier for your understanding and learn. And some brokerage and bank companies have their own websites, websites about news, about education. You can see some information about terminology, some news about this day, maybe some digest, and etc. And I want to say robo-advisor. And finally, robo-advisor, because banks want that you invest your money in different financial instruments, and they decided that robo-advisor is a really good thing which can help you and bank for their profit, and etc. But if we talk about robo-advisor, they have some disadvantages, and the first disadvantages, they cannot like a person. Robo-advisor, no, robo-advisor cannot be how people, and they cannot predict the future how a people, and due to this. You can have don't good result, and sometimes your portfolio will be decline from some invest risks. Next, wrong algorithms. Also, brokerage companies use consultants as advertising, and in most cases, they don't have a commission. However, their algorithm extremely simple, and sometimes we have only blue chips. For example, if we talk about our Russian shares, Gazprom, Lukoil, Sberbank, and etc. Companies, and due to this, you cannot have good results, profit. And if we talk about situation which we have now, some blue chips in Russia has really bad result. And in conclusion, I would like to tell you about technologies are developing quite seriously, and perhaps in the future this technology will be very popular among clients of banking and brokerage companies. However, at the moment, the technology has drawbacks that will not allow people to earn a large percentages. And I think that in the future, challenger banks will be growth, and they have really big, really small commission for their services, and these services, such as robo-advisor, was really popular among usual clients, and I think that these services will be really popular among, I don't know, really rich people, maybe. And that's all. If you have some questions, I can ask.
Thank you very much, Artyom. Okay, has somebody question for Artyom? Maybe now I see that Andrey Lomakin, our expert, he is with us, and maybe he wants to ask something, or maybe just to express his opinion. Okay, now when we're waiting for the questions, I have the first question. I don't know, as for me, that I don't know my position about robo-advising. First of all, I think that I have enough money. I'm rich enough, and I will prefer the real man with high competence and is very with very rich practice, and that is for me. Because it seems to me that robo-advising is just for maybe mass investors, and as we see in Russian, khomyaki. And that's why that is my opinion. But I agree that every bank, maybe just leading banks in the world, they pay attention in this kind of services. That's my opinion. Yes, and maybe we'll have some questions for everybody, or for anybody. Okay. Okay, I hope that the questions will be ready just in our general discussion, final discussion. Thank you very much, Artyom.
Thank you.
I want to point that Artyom was very sharp in timing, exactly 7 minutes. Okay, and the next our reporter, that is Musa Nasibov, the first year students, so master students of our university, of our academy. And Musa, we can see your presentation. Okay, thank you.
Hello. Do you see me?
I can't see you, but I can hear you, and I can see your presentation.
Why?
I don't know why. Maybe I am wrong with. Musa, now we can see you and your presentation. Okay.
Thanks. Good morning, dear colleagues. Today we talk about a new system of mediation in financial markets. Let's talk a few words about what is the financial markets and what the elements in financial markets. The financial markets is a complex system with interconnected infrastructure. This slide presents the main elements of the financial market. You can see there are stock market, insurance market, forex market, or money market, loan market, precious metal market, and debt market. All of them are interconnected, and if a problem occurs with of the elements, a chain of problems will occur, will pull the rest of the markets with it. This slides, you can see the classic intermediates in financial markets and stock markets. Each element is interconnected with itself, and the central bank of Russia is at the head of the entire financial system. Such a number of intermediaries can reduce systematic risks. However, for investors, such a number of intermediaries threatens with high level and high percent commissions. The next, you can see new intermediaries in financial markets, and this another situation is with the update system. I mean the financial markets. With the help of DLT technologies, decentralized technologies, and there are centralized and decentralized exchange have appeared. This exchange combined the main functions of all intermediaries from the classical model, the broker, dealers, and etc. For example, onboarding, know your client system, and introduction of accounts using the new smart contracts system. This allows you to reduce the commission for investors to a minimum. This slide, comparative analysis, I mean the old system and new system. In the classical model, it is primarily fully centralized and regulated by a central order, and separate intermediaries who charge a commission for their activities. And one of the most important aspects is that there is a division into professional and non-professional investors and participants on the stock exchange. But the new model can be centralized and decentralized. The investors is given a choice in the system. One participant performs all the functions of intermediaries and offers low commissions. I mean, this is a good idea for me and the other investors. And in the new model, there is no division into professional or non-professional participants of financial markets. And finally, I have conclusions. I mean, the creation and implementation of financial technologies made it possible to switch to a decentralized model of the financial market. Second, changing the mediation system is a constant cue of the decentralized financial market model. And finally, the new model, which use centralized and decentralized technologies, there are the most IT risks, I mean. Thank you for your attention. That's all what I want to say about it. Have you any question?
Okay, thank you, Musa. It was very interesting and very actual. Has somebody any question? Has anybody any question? No questions, just very early in the morning, and they are only listening and thinking it over. Okay, Musa, I quite agree with you that now we have some kind of revolution in financial market mediation, because we can see that the role of traditional It is it is changing and rather fast, and we can see several newcomers in this market, and maybe we don't know their role in the future, but now they are in this market, and we should know about it, and we should know about the risks and about the opportunities, how to deal with them. And now in the press and literature, we can see that there are new definitions, some kind of neobanks, and Musa said onboarding participants and so on. And as for me, that first of all, just to be well educated and to have rather high quality of financial knowledge, we should know about them, and we should know the difference between traditional and newcomers of this market, and just to assess the risks first of all. And as for my opinion, that it seems to me that our traditional banks, they are on this way, and they will have their some kind of companies, special companies, which will be in this market, and with which can play this role of new participants of this market. Okay, let me see. Can we have
Thank
some?
you.
We don't have any questions yet. Okay, thank you, Musa. Very nice. It was very helpful. And we are covering our agenda. And the next presentation, that is our first year master students, Alan and Evgeny. Okay, Alan and Evgeny.
Yes, good morning, dear colleagues. We are
nice to
here.
See you.
Yes,
Nice to
of
see you.
course. Give me a second. Can you see our presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Well, my name is Evgeny Melnichenko, and with my colleague Alan Khubayev, we prepared a small report about the artificial intelligence in the banking sector. So let me start. Well, banks truly play one of the key roles in the development of the financial life of all economic entities through the provision of various banking services. However, if a few years ago the availability of high technology for banks wasn't such an important consideration for implementation of their activities as it is today. And banks' compliance with the modern high-tech challenges allows them to remain competitive in the market. And therefore, today, in order to carry out their activities, banks use technologies that allow them to provide the information of various arrays of databases. And the most significant part of such processes is machine learning, which allows banks to improve the efficiency of their activities. So, artificial intelligence is used by banks in the following areas. First is digitization, then virtual interlocutor. With the help of chatbots, banks can understand the requirements of each client from the right commercial offers and implement loyalty programs. Then it's a fraud detection. For example, one possible way to detect bank fraud is to scan executive transactional data and look for unorthodox activity or irregular behavior patterns. And the fourth is customer satisfaction. And the scientific controversy regarding the possibilities of AI in the financial services industry is pairing today against the backdrop of significant interest emerging around technology. And the cumulative potential cost savings for banks from AI-powered applications is estimated by $447 billion by 2023. And now, Alan.
Today, banks finance the development of application of artificial intelligence technologies in such areas as, first of all, it is interactive voice response system, abbreviated form IVRS. It provides very quick feedback for customers to get some useful information. Customer support, security and fraud detection, personalized financial guide, mobile banking, and algorithmic trading. Talking about trading, I want to delve a little bit. The analysis of huge amount of data at the same time allows machine learning to evaluate various indicators, such as expected profit and possible risk. Moreover, this technology will provide a reliable assessment based on pure learning, which will help in making commercial decisions. It should also be noted that Russia is one of the leading countries in digital banking. For example, different banks, such as, first of all, Tinkoff Bank, VTB, Sberbank, are among the Russian leading banks in the field of application of artificial intelligence and corresponding machine learning technologies. Nowadays, banks around the world are implementing biometrics to transform and automate processes referred to as KYC, abbreviated form Know Your Customer. Banks are increasingly using biometrics identification of customers to complete different transactions using mobile devices. I would say that this is some kind of tendency. It should also be noted that machine learning is needed not only in the banking sector, but also in different other areas of activities. For example, the analysis of news stories, social networks, and similar sources to predict the impact of social factors on the dynamics of market indicator is also one of the promising areas of using artificial intelligence and machine learning. Thus, the main task of introducing artificial intelligence into the banking sector is to provide quality conditions in order to increase customer satisfaction at the same time as efficient and time-saving services. So thank you all for your attention. And now we are ready to answer your question if such exist.
Thank you, guys. Okay, very interesting presentation, and I fully agree with your statements. And I want to ask you several questions. For example, what is your opinion? Today, we know new trends that we have new kind of, I don't know how to call it, maybe banking card, maybe credit card. That is some kind of between traditional credit card with fiat money and crypto money and crypto card. And I know that the paying system MasterCard, now they are just maybe the leading of it, and they introduce such card, not for our country yet, of course, but how do you think, what does it mean? Maybe that is the revolution or just of the transactions, maybe the kind of transactions, or maybe that is some kind of PR for MasterCard, or maybe for another banks. Crypto.
We think that this is some kind of PR because cryptocurrencies are now some kind of trend. First of all, this PR. We think so.
Yeah, but let me explain how to deal with it. For example, I have some kind of crypto wallet in somewhere, yes, and I have some money there. No, crypto money, maybe cryptocurrencies. I don't know how to name. And after this, I come to my traditional bank and ask just to give me such card. And I want to understand what is the frontier between crypto money and fiat money. And as I can pay by this card, That means that I should have the fiat money in this card. Who will take this transaction, and what is just the algorithms of it?
I want to ask if I understand it correctly. You are asking about the algorithm of
yes, the algorithm, the conversion. Where is
the conversion from fiat money to cryptocurrencies?
Yes.
In this card?
Who will do it? And is it really the transaction, or maybe some kind of virtual transactions? That is my questions. I don't know the answer because
yes.
I ask it because I know that there are students and there are specialists who know much more than me in this area. That's why I want to ask you about it. Okay, we don't have.
As I understand, no. As I understand that it will be proceeded with the help of different exchanges.
Okay. I hope that there should be some kind of intermediate, between.
Yes, yes, of course.
But I can't understand. Maybe Musa knows about it. Musa knows about it. No. Zhenya?
No.
Maybe
no.
you.
Honestly, I have the same answer like Alan. I think that it will be something on the middle in the transaction. So we will see later how it will be. So
okay, we'll see. Okay. We will wait for the first results. And it is very nice to hear that our banks and our leading banks, they are the leaders in the world with the level of digitalization. And now we can see it very well that our level is much more higher than in different maybe European countries. And maybe that's why we can't see the tragedy of the current situation with the SWIFT, with the leading payment system, and so on. And we are the leaders in it, and we have a lot of opportunities. Okay, thank you guys very much. That was very interesting. Has anybody any question? No questions, only from I'm very interested in it. Okay, and now we are going on. And now we want to invite our students, they are newcomers in this conference, that is Victoria Sharibina. Victoria, we invite you to give your presentation. And I want to tell you that if you have some kind of problems, maybe with the English language, also technical problems, that don't pay attention to it and don't nervous about it. Okay, Victoria.
Одну минутку, прям я
Ага,
не могу разобраться с подключением, если честно.
If you need some more time, we will give you some kind of time, maybe in one report. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And we are going on. The next presentation, that is the group of the students. The fourth year students, the Faculty of National Security in the Institute of Law. And Kuznetsov Alexander and Spector Polina, they are ready to present their presentations, risk of using digital financial assets in Russian Federation. Okay. Alexander, Полина, are you with us?
Да, секундочку. Мы просто не ожидали, что мы сейчас пройдем, да. Сейчас я постараюсь вывести презентацию.
We are not in a hurry, just we are in our timing, and it is very nice. And that means that everybody will have enough time to present their works. And I want to invite everybody just to take part in discussion. If the problem is the language, you can ask your questions in Russian language without any doubt. And the main reason, the main task for our session is just to share the knowledge, to share the problems which we are taking on in this very actual field. Okay, now we can see the presentation. Alexander and Polina.
Yes.
Do you see me?
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get started. So good morning, everyone. I'm glad to hear you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alexander Kuznetsov, and my colleague's name is Polina Spector. The reason we are here today is to talk about a risk of using digital financial assets in Russian Federation. If you have any questions you would like to ask, please leave them until the end. Then we will be happy to answer them. Let's make it start.
Well, digital financial assets can generally be called the future payment technologies. Appearing in the 21st century, in a short period of time, these assets were able to enter deeply into the current payment system. Such assets meet the main demands of modern society. They are easy to use, and the speed of their turnover is high. In addition, literally everyone who holds a smartphone has access to them.
The relevance of the work is determined by the fact that recently in Russia and in the world as a whole, there has been a rapid growth of the market of digital financial assets. At the same time, the risks of their use are also growing. The purpose of this report is to identify the risks and threats to the use of digital financial assets in Russia. Cryptocurrencies is the most complex financial instrument, our priority object of research.
This is the content of our presentation, and now you can see on the slide the terminology provided by Russian law, and as a result of our research, it's important to note that Russian law does not define cryptocurrencies.
So according to International Monetary Fund, virtual currencies are digital representations of value issued by private developers and denominated in their own unit of account. These can be obtained, stored, accessed, and transacted electronically and can be used for a variety of purposes as long as the transaction parties agree to use them. As the International Monetary Fund does not provide a strict definition of cryptocurrencies, however, according to the IMF's interpretation, cryptocurrencies are not currencies, but assets in which investing is highly risky. Separately highlights the notion of virtual money, whereas the scheme shows the essence is narrower than digital currencies, but wider than cryptocurrencies.
Now let's move on to the risk, the main point of our presentation. We will start from the first, loss of national currency independence. It means that the use of cryptocurrencies as a means of payment creates risk of imbalance in monetary circulation and substitution of the national currencies by other currencies. It's a kind of dollarization. A high level of dollarization or cryptization means that the effect of actions of monetary authorities will be reduced and the inflation rate will be permanently high. In order to hold inflation in check, it will be necessary to keep the certain bank's rate high all the time. The second risk is an outflow of investments. The outflow of securities into cryptocurrencies will result in fall in the capitalization of a national stock market and reduce the ability of users to raise investments. Thirdly, I will say about distortion of interest rates. A high level of securitization will cause a gap between the real, effective, and nominal rate.
Also highlighted a threat related to illegal activities. Due to their anonymous nature, cryptocurrencies are used massively to make payments for criminal activities, money laundering, drug trafficking. Deficit in the semiconductor market, increased demand for graphic adapters and specialized equipment for mining was one of the factors in the deficit of semiconductors. Explosive growth of electricity consumption. The growth is mining causes enormous power usage and may pose a risk to other businesses. The trend of mining in the public increases the risk of heavy loads on the power grid and causing disasters.
The risk of using interface are the same for individuals and companies, although companies have a number of different ones. The Central Bank of Russia, in its report Cryptocurrencies Trends Risk Measures, doesn't separate companies and individuals, calling them private investors. First risk is false transactions. The threat of cryptocurrencies is related to the inability to cancel a transaction and return the transfer sum, no matter even if just one figure in the receipt address is incorrect. Second risk is high volatility, high dependence of cryptocurrencies price due to information background.
Also highlighted risks that simulated to Ponzi scheme. The functioning of cryptocurrencies is also similar to Ponzi scheme. The rise in their price is supported by demand from new players entering the market. Individuals who became investors long ago sell cryptocurrencies at a high price and actually do this at the expense of new members. Next risk is cyber attacks and execution by stock exchanges, protocol weaknesses, risk of stock exchange shutdown, low level of liquidity on new exchanges, and uncontrolled activities of exchange. Also highlighted legal risks. Cryptocurrencies transactions as a rule are cross-border, so investors will have to apply to the authorities of foreign countries in order to protect their rights.
Let's move on business risk. In the case of an acute investment in digital financial assets, companies can suffer serious financial losses, which will have a negative impact on their reputation. Also, in addition to the main risks of deface, the problem of default and bankruptcy of the company becomes critical.
In conclusion, we can highlight the main threats to the use of digital financial assets, which at the same time are also benefits. Anonymity possesses a threat to the security of the holder because in the case of the theft or improper transfer, the asset will be impossible to recover. Transparency of transactions is limited because information about the wallet does not provide complete personal information about the account holder. High level of wallet security often plays against the holder. In case of loss of a password it will be impossible to get the funds back. One of the main specifics of digital financial assets is that the benefits for the public and businesses of the use are threats to the state.
At the moment in Russia, the conditions needed for the safe use of device are not created, which creates risks and threats for the public, businesses, and the state. Also, the IMF has been against the use of cryptocurrencies for the past few years, focusing on such risks as anonymity, the related safety of the code key, and volatility. In addition, they talk about the environmental problems arising from a large-scale mining. That's all we have to say. Thank you for your listening. If you have any questions, we will be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you very much. It is very interesting and very actual for our current situation. Has anybody some questions? Any question? There is not any question at all. Okay, let me ask you several questions. You pay attention a lot of risks, a lot of maybe some kind of opportunities or benefits. But I want to ask you, we know that the central bank is strictly against of the using of the cryptocurrencies in our payment system and for our transactions. As I know that they offered their digital ruble, the central bank digital ruble. And questions, can we consider that the digital ruble is a kind of cryptocurrency?
I can answer this question. So I think the digital ruble is a fiat currency, and it is still the same ruble, but only in digital terms. Consequently, the digital ruble will also be tied to oil prices, suffer from sanctions, and be dependent on political will.
Okay, and I want to know just if we have digital ruble, I mean central bank digital ruble, and can we use it in some kind of government purchase? Should we think that that is the instrument of anti-corruption? For the government, for example, we know that we have a lot of money which transferring within the budget system, and if we use digital ruble, can we see that is that will help us with our fight anti-corruption? Okay. Maybe you will need some time just to prepare the answer for it. And my last question, maybe that is the question for everybody, for our participants, not just for the reporter of this presentation. And the last question, because it is very interesting, what function of money can cryptocurrency perform now, maybe in foreign countries?
Well, I think it's my turn to answer the question. I think that in Russia, cryptocurrencies don't perform any function of money. I think it's because Russian law doesn't prepare some measures to use cryptocurrencies for businesses and people. But as I said before, they the use of money, the performance of money sanctions depends on states' law, legislation. For example, in Salvador, Bitcoin served as the money of payment, as we know.
Yes, it is very interesting case, but we can see that for Salvador, that was just some kind of instrument for saving their money system. Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting, and we are going on. And the next presentation, just look at it. The next presentation is just the continuation of this topic. That is the mainstream development of transaction. I invite Samoilova Alina and Fokina Daria. They are the third year students, the same faculty of National Security and the Institute of Law. Okay, now you are welcome. The girls.
You can see me?
Yes, no, not you. Let me check. The presentation I can see. Okay, Dasha, I can see you. Okay, everything is okay.
So we can start. Good afternoon, colleagues. We would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Fokina Daria and my colleague is Samoilova Alina. Our topic for the speech is mainstream development of transaction in digital financial assets in Russian Federation. This topic is current at the moment. The topicality and purpose of our work is presented on the slide. We will now define digital financial assets down the line DFA. DFA are digital rights that include money claims, participation in the capital of non-public joint stock companies, and rights to securities and the transfer of the right to claim them.
Now let's move on the definition of cryptocurrency. The law contains another term instead of cryptocurrency, digital currency. Its definition is rather cumbersome, so let's highlight the main details. Digital currency is a set of electronic data in the system. Then can be taken as an investment or means of payment, which is not a monetary unit. With respect to digital currency is a general rule. There is no personal or duty to each holder of such electronic data. It can also be said that cryptocurrency in Russia doesn't perform any function of money. Who issue DFA and cryptocurrencies? The issuer of DFA only be a legal entity or individual entrepreneur on the basis of a decision containing all the information about this asset required by law. Realized turnover and transfer is carried out with the approved rules of the information system. Maintenance of the information system is which is issue, turnover, and accounting of DFA is carried about by a specialized subject that operate of the information system. Issue is prohibited of the joint stock company has previously issued shares in ordinary form.
The issue cryptocurrency issuance, the issue of digital money is characterized by the fact that there is no single center of control over the issuance of assets. Cryptocurrency works by multiple nodes, its blocks. They're scattered around the world and interconnected into a single network blockchain. Cryptocurrency issuance occurs through mining, that is for mining or creating new digital coins. To do this, they process the most complex mathematical code using computer programs and power. Now let's move on to the statistics. Based on this chart, we can see that the Russians every year make transactions with cryptocurrencies worth $5 billion or about 350 billion rubles. Presented capitalization dynamics of the three major cryptocurrencies and Tesla stablecoin, which account for about 70% of the cryptocurrency market. Overall, the market capitalization of cryptocurrencies has been growing rapidly in recent years, but even within a short period of time, the situation can change dramatically due to significant fluctuations in their exchange rates. Cryptocurrencies have seen sharp ups and downs throughout their existence. In August 2021, Russia ranked third in Bitcoin mining. It accounted for 11.23% of the computing power used to mine Bitcoin.
Reflection at the monetary authorities. The central bank in the report date January 20, 2022, cryptocurrencies trends risk measures expressed its position a complete ban on the calculation and mining of cryptocurrencies. On January 27, 2022, the Ministry of Finance proposed new rules on cryptocurrency transaction instead of a ban. On February 3, 2022, the central bank began using licenses for the management of DFA. On February 8, 2022, the government of Russia approved the concept of legislative regulation of digital currency calculation. On April 8, 2022, the Ministry of Finance published in finalized draft of the federal law on digital currency, taking into account department position and sent it to the government of Russian Federation. The Bank of Russia is all developing a national digital currency, digital ruble. Who can be a right shoulder is general and from a tax point of view. Individual registered as individual entrepreneurs, eligible entities, commercial and non-commercial organizations. What are the advantages of the digital ruble? Increasing transparency, efficiency in the use of budgetary funds, reducing the cost of transaction as well as the burden on banks and payment systems, reducing the level of dollarization and the consequence, reducing export to sanction from the third countries.
Benefits at the corporate level. For large businesses, it's an additional tool for managing the cost of capital. For financial technologies and factors, it's a possibility of alternative funding in order to actively grow the financing of their clients. For small and medium-sized enterprises, it's increasing the availability of factoring financing. For investor is an additional profitable instrument with a moderate risk and provides for the formation of marketplaces for individual sectors of the financial market and the use of this tool by other participants.
Benefits at the household level. The issuance of most of kinds limited and the issue maximum is strictly set. The process of using new coins is transparent and strictly regulated. Inflation is also impossible in the case. Information about all operations to open to any user. Access to a personal account be lost only if the owner himself has lost the data to enter it.
So, based on our analysis, we can say that further development and legislative regulation in this area is still at the stage of development and detailed analysis because cryptocurrencies have an increasing impact on the economy and financial stability. So, thank you for your attention. We are all ready to answer your question.
Okay, thank you very much. It was very interesting. That was a continuation of the previous presentation. Dear participants, do you have any questions? Maybe somebody? No, nobody. Okay, that's me again. I want to ask you some kind of general question. Now we see that digital technologies are in our life. And how do you think, do digital technologies have both of the potential to help banks to cut their costs and seize new growth opportunities? And it seems to me that there are both sides, yes? And how do you think about it?
I think that digital technologies can optimize a bank's work. There's already a striking example of this in Russia, Tinkoff Bank. Thanks to the active promotion of internet banking, the bank's unusual customer base has grown to 500,000 people. And what is the cost reduction here? The fact that we don't have open branches, we don't have a physical bank, so we don't need to spend money on the maintenance and servicing of a physical bank. So we can use this money to develop the work of the online bank.
As to me, that I agree with you, I want to give you several facts. For example, the largest bank in Russian Federation is Sberbank, and its asset is about 40 trillion rubles. 40 trillion rubles, that is just 40% of our GDP. Can you imagine this amount? And if we have the assets of Tinkoff, that is only 1 trillion rubles. Can you imagine? There are 40 times difference between them. But everybody knows the opportunities with the Tinkoff Bank all over our country. And now we can see the picture that the situation that not very large bank, they can start their growth, their rapid growth in our financial market due to digitalization, due to digital technologies. And I quite agree with you. Okay, thank you, girls. And maybe my last question, again, general question. How do you think, maybe not only for you questions, for our participants, what are the main goals for the Russian digital finance strategy? And do we have a digital finance strategy?
In order to further digital the financial market and increase availability product and service for citizen and business, the Bank of Russia has identified the strategic direction for the development of financial technologies for the coming years. The development of measures for the implementation of the main direction will provide citizens and business cheaper and more convenient digital financial services, reduce the cost of financial market participants, and will help increase the level of competition. So the goals will be the regulation of data calculation, ecosystem and non-bank payment service providers, as well as the improvement of electronic integration between market participants, the state, citizens, and business.
Okay, thank you very much, girls. The girls gave us very detailed answers. Thank you very much. And now, if we have any questions more, no, we don't have any questions more, and we're going on. Just a minute, and now just the turn of Victoria. Victoria, are you ready now?
Да.
Okay, we'll see you.
Excuse me, Natalia Alexandrovna. Just a moment, please.
Okay, Andrey Leonidovich, very nice to see you and hear you. Okay, of course, we're waiting for you.
Good morning, colleagues. Я просто хотел сделать комментарий, что специфика сегодняшнего нашего секционного заседания, что два завершающих доклада будут на русском, поэтому я прошу уважаемых участников сегодняшней конференции обсуждение тоже провести на русском языке. Thank you very much.
Okay, Victoria. Victoria is a newcomer in this conference, and maybe she is nervous about her language, and that's why will give Victoria the opportunity to present your report in Russian. Of course, we are listening to you.
В следующем году обещаю на английском, подготовлюсь как следует.
Okay, we will resume it.
Моя тема доклада – это нарушение принципов свободной торговли в деятельности маркетплейсов на современном этапе. На современном этапе развития экономики интенсивно используют цифровые технологии. Онлайн-торговля стала наиболее востребованной в связи с началом пандемии, и с каждым годом она только увеличивает свои объемы. Однако отдельные интернет-магазины теряют свои позиции, и первые строчки в поисковых системах начинают занимать именно маркетплейсы. Создание данных торговых площадок существенно изменило бизнес-процессы, поскольку начиная с 2020 года участие в цифровых экосистемах стало обязательным этапом развития бизнеса. Marketplace или же торговая площадка – это онлайн-платформа для продажи и покупки товаров и услуг через интернет. Продавцы размещают на маркетплейсах свои товары, покупатели выбирают лучшие варианты по ценам, характеристикам и другим параметрам. Основными задачами маркетплейсов являются привлечение покупателей, разработка удобного и понятного сайта, обеспечение возможности продвижения товара. Развитие маркетплейсов, с одной стороны, является мощным катализатором трансформации всей торговли, внедряющей цифровые платформы. С другой стороны, маркетплейсы нарушают рыночные механизмы. На данном этапе необходима разработка нормативно-правового законодательства, которое бы регулировало деятельность маркетплейсов, поскольку только при обеспечении корректной суперпозиции объективных экономических законов и субъективных норм права возможно достичь экономической эффективности и предотвратить наступление кризиса. А на данном этапе регистрация в качестве продавца на маркетплейсах возможна при наличии статуса индивидуального предпринимателя или общества с ограниченной ответственностью. По некоторым причинам покупатели доверяют ООО больше, чем ИП, объясняя тем, что ООО имеет собственное производство и товар является более качественным. Именно за счет этого индивидуальные предприниматели не заходят в тот раздел, на котором преобладают ООО. Именно за счет этого начинают формироваться монополии внутри маркетплейсов, но, к сожалению, никаких нормативно-правовых актов в сфере антимонопольного регулирования маркетплейсов создано до сих пор не было. При возникновении монополии страдает хозяйственная деятельность, не соблюдаются принципы свободной конкуренции, а значит, нарушаются рыночные механизмы. Еще одним моментом нарушения рыночных механизмов выступает влияние маркетплейсов на ценовую политику продавцов. Маркетплейсы ведут календарь акций, с которым может ознакомиться каждый продавец. Участие в акциях является добровольным, однако есть определенные нюансы. За участие в акциях продавец получает скидку на логистику товара и на комиссию, которую продавец платит маркетплейсу за каждый проданный товар. В противном же случае стоимость логистики и комиссии возрастает. Для тех продавцов, которые торгуют на данных площадках длительный период времени и уже имеют клиентскую базу, участие в акции не принесет больших потерь. Однако, если рассматривать новых участников торговых площадок, то они попадают в ситуацию, при которой они не только не окупят свои затраты, но и могут уйти в минус продаж. Получается, что выход на торговую площадку для новых продавцов становится затруднительным. Можно сказать, что маркетплейсы диктуют свои правила относительно цены товара, нарушая тем самым принцип свободного ценообразования и принцип свободной торговли. В связи с интенсивными изменениями в бизнес-процессах, а именно внедрением цифровых экосистем, необходимо обратить внимание на создание и совершенствование законодательной базы, поскольку уже сейчас начинают формироваться монополии внутри маркетплейсов, а также торговые площадки диктуют свои правила для продавцов, что дискриминирует экономическую свободу. На данном этапе недостаточное нормативное правовое регулирование маркетплейсов ставит под угрозу эффективность экономического развития страны, нарушая при этом принципы рыночной экономики. Именно поэтому обеспечить экономическую безопасность страны возможно лишь комплексным своевременным реагированием на внедрение цифровых технологий в социальные и экономические отношения. На этом у меня все. Спасибо за внимание.
Okay, thank you very much, and a very interesting presentation. And we have the real problem just in the transforming of our market. And maybe maybe has anybody have questions? Okay, we'll see. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Excuse me. Okay, Victoria, thank you very much. We hope that next year we will have your report in English. The rule of our conference is that for the English language, just for the report. Okay, thank you very much. And now I have the message. I got the message that unfortunately our last reporter can't do her presentation. Diana, unfortunately, we can't hear you yet. And now we have only several minutes just to finish and to give our conclusions. I want to ask, maybe somebody has questions for our reporters, for our students, for our participants. Okay, no any questions. Okay, let me tell some words, say some words about our session. First of all, I want to thank everybody who take part in our conference and in our very actual section. We know that now Fintech is the heart of digitalization of financial markets, and we have a lot of different tech, subtech, regtech, fintech, and so on. And we'll see that the new direction, and every year we will see new destination, new opportunities, and of course new risks of it. And if we open just the literature maybe 10 years ago, then which was published 10 years ago, we can't see a lot of very popular words in that publication. That means that the speed of digitalization is very high, and maybe next year we will see new facts and new streams in this one, in this direction. Okay, I want to tell you this such information. Everybody who took part in our conference, all of you will give the certificates. And I don't know the procedure of it. Maybe it will be digital certificate, maybe it will be paper certificate. We'll see it. We will discuss it with our organizers. First of all, I want to invite you to take part in other conferences, roundtables on this very interesting topic, and now we see that that is not innovation anymore. That is our life, and that means that everybody can know about it and can have some kind of comprehension how to deal with these new methods, instruments, and so on. Because we know that financial market is the very important part for the economy for every country. And now we have not lucky time for our economy, for our financial markets, but I believe that we will settle the problems, we will settle some kind of upsets, and after this we will see our recovery and due to digitalization too. Okay, thank you very much. That is all for today. If somebody wants to say some words, we are welcoming it. Okay, only me in this session. Okay, thank you very much. Our students' Gaidar conference is continuing. We will have several sections, and you can join them and take part just in discussion and so on. Thank you very much. Good luck, and see you next time.
Thank you.